The Rise of Airbnb. Airbnb Incorporated is an American company that functions on an online marketplace for lodging, primarily homestay for vacation rentals and tourism activities. The company is mainly based in San Francisco, California. Their platform is accessible through website and mobile app. Airbnb does not have any of the listed properties. Instead, the company profits by receiving commissions for each booking made on their website. Airbnb was founded in 2008 by Brian Chesky, Nathan, and Joe Jabia. The company is a shortened version of its first name, airbedandbreakfast.com. Airbnb has been criticized for direct relations between upsurges in the number of Airbnb listings and rises in nearby rent prices, and creating problems for those living around leased properties. Airbnb is regulated by various jurisdictions including the European Union and cities such as San Francisco and New York City. Airbnb is seen as a competitive threat by the hotel industry. After moving to San Francisco in October 2007, roommates and former schoolmates Brian Joe had a money move idea of putting on air mattress in the living room and turning it into a bed and breakfast. In February 2008, Nathan, Chesky's former roommate, pitched in and became the venture's chief technology officer and the third co-founder of the new company, which they named Air, Bed and Breakfast. They worked on the website that offered short-term living quarters and breakfast to passengers who failed to book hotels in a saturated market. The website airbedandbreakfast.com officially launched on August 11, 2008. Nathan, Brian, and Joe had their first customers in town in the summer of 2008 at an industrial design conference held by Industrial Designers Society of America, where all air passengers had a hard time finding lodging in the city. In January 2009, Air Bed and Breakfast received $20,000 in venture funding from Y Combinator. With the site already live, they used the Y Combinator investment to head to New York City to meet users and promote their website. The founders came back to San Francisco with a profitable business model to present to West Coast investors. By March 2009, the website had 10,000 users and 2,500 listings. In March 2009, the name of the company was shortened to Airbnb, and the website content had increased from Air, Bed and Breakfast and shared spaces to many other properties including entire homes, apartments, private rooms, and other properties. In April 2009, Airbnb received $600,000 in seed money from Sequoia Capital from University Ventures partners Jawed Karim, Keith Rabius, and Kevin Hartz participating. In November 2010, Airbnb made $7.2 million in financing from Greylock Partners and Sequoia Capital in Series A round, and said in a statement that out of the 700,000 nights booked, 80% had occurred in the last 6 months. At the March 2011 South by Southeast conference, the company won the App Award. In July 2011, Airbnb made $112 million in financing, led by Idrissine Horowitz. Other early investors were Digital Sky Technologies, General Catalyst Partners, and A-grade investment partners Austin Kutcher and Guy Osry. In October 2011, the company established an office in London, the first Airbnb in history. Due to growth of international end users, in early 2012, the company opened for business offices in Paris, Milan, Barcelona, Copenhagen, Moscow, and Sao Paulo. These ventures were in addition to existing offices in San Francisco, London, Hamburg, and Berlin. In September 2013, Airbnb announced in a statement that Airbnb would start its European headquarters in Dublin. In November 2012, the company opened for business an office in Sydney, Airbnb's 11th office location, and announced plans to start the service in Thailand and Indonesia. In December 2012, the company announced in a statement that its strategy to move more aggressively into Asian market with the start of an office in Singapore. In November 2012, the company began Neighborhoods, a travel guide of 23 cities that help travelers choose a neighborhood in which they would like to stay according to certain criteria and personal preferences. By October 2013, the company had served 9 million guests since their founding in August 2008, and about 250,000 properties were added in 2013. In April 2014, Airbnb closed on an investment of $450 million by TPG Capital, with an Airbnb value estimated to be around $10 billion. More funding was provided by Andreessen Horowitz, Dragoneer Investment Group, T. Rowe Price, Sean Gruzd, and Sherpa Capital. In July 2014, the company revealed a design revision to the website and mobile apps that came up with a new logo. The logo, called the Bello, is meant to serve as a symbol of belonging and is made up of 4 elements: a head, which represents people, a location icon that represents a place, a heart to symbolize love, and A to stand for Airbnb's name. In June 2015, the company made $1.4 billion in Series E funding led by General Atlantic and joined by Hill House Capital Group, Tiger Management, GGV Capital, China Broadland Capital, and Horizon Ventures. In the summer of 2016, at the request of the 3 members of the U.S. Senate, the Federal Trade Commission started investigating how the company had affected housing costs. In October 2016, the governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, signed a bill charging the company's fines for violations of local housing laws. The New York Times reported that these events were related and part of the plan that the Hotel Association started in early 2016 to thwart Airbnb. In September 2016, the company made $555 million in funding from Google Capital and Technology Crossover Ventures, making up Airbnb's market value to $30 billion. In March 2017, the company made $1 billion in funding, bringing a total funding raise to $3 billion and valuing Airbnb at $31 billion. The company first became profitable during the second half of 2016. The company's revenue grew more than 80% from 2015 to 2016. After a $200 million profit in 2016, the company posted a loss of $322 million in 2019. In February 2018, Airbnb announced in a statement that Airbnb Plus, a collection of homes that have been vetted for quality of service, comfort, design, including Beyond by the company, which offer luxury vacation rentals. By October 2019, 2 million people were staying with the company each night. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the company suffered a significant drop in bookings, estimated at around 41% and 96%. In response, Airbnb lowered its internal valuation from $31 billion to $26 billion and even considered postponing plans for an initial public offering. On March 30th, CEO and head of community Brian Chesky pinned a letter to hosts, pledging $250 million for widespread guest cancellation. The clampdown in bookings and broader economic fallout led the company to raise $1 billion in a capital from private equity firms in April 2020. In April 2020, the company raised $1 billion in another installment of funding from private equity firms Silver Lake and Sixth Street Partners. Since January 2016, the company makes it easy for guests to book reservations. It allows guests to book with a deposit and make installment payments instead of requiring to pay the full amount in advance. Hundreds of cities have restrictions for short-term rentals. Requirements are buying business licenses, payment of hotel taxes, complying with buildings, city and zoning standards, as well as limits to the length of stay. In July 2016, former Attorney General Eric Holder was hired to help craft an anti-discrimination policy after the company faced many complaints related to racism, including a study by Harvard Business School that showed widespread discrimination by hosts against guests whose names suggested that they were Black. Airbnb has also faced complaints of racial discrimination in listing in China, particularly against Uyghurs. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit the like button. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos.